Hello, hello. How are you today? Hopefully everything is fine. Everything is fine. By the way, I decided to make a series. Yes, on ARA History Untold. Imagine that. And I would like to dedicate this series to my first subscriber. Actually, I have one. Yes, the one and the only subscriber on my channel. Thank you. I really appreciate. So kick on, enjoy it. Now, who we gonna choose? By the way, we have a new version of ARA. Yes. And they might fix some issues with this game. It'd be very unfortunate because I want to make fun. And that being said, you know, I was a little bit unfair with the leaders. Last time I played this game, I was criticizing everybody except my friend Pachakuti. How are you, my man? And my friend Alexander. What's up? Ah, you are one of the best, man. But today, no, honestly, I was wrong. I was wrong. Look at her. She's a beauty. She is a beauty. She's a beauty. Isabella. Isabel, I was so unfair with you, so we're gonna play this series dedicated to my first subscriber, and we're gonna play as you, yes. And I want to pay attention to Isabel. Um, I'm not gonna play for mercantile. Let's be serious. No. We're not gonna play for seafaring. No. Or for being spiritual. No. We don't care about this. No. This I said is good. This I said is very good. She's adventurous. She's a free-minded girl. Yes, I know you are a little bit impatient, but listen up. She has this. Five production in non-capital cities at city tier 10 or less. What we like to do? Keep our city small. And she will grateful give us five production for this. Five production will be a very nice and practical game. So let's start it. Now, let's try the prince. Let's put it on normal. Maybe I'll get my ass kicked. Let's put some 24 because, I love my neighbors close, of course. And we're gonna play, as you imagine, a very trade-based game. Hmm. Like so trade-based that we're gonna trade every single capital of our dear AI in our empire. It's gonna be fun. Just buckle up. So, come on, generate that map. Generate it. Give me a good position in the capital. And in the meanwhile, let me explain some advantages. Isabel doesn't have great advantages. No, no. But if you think better, imagine you took the capital of one of your opponents. Doesn't matter which one. Now, you have a great heart, a city which actually has a great heart and which gonna give you some bonuses. And because it's a non-capital city, you're gonna have an extra 5 production on those cities. Isn't it a genius? When you play Spain, my advice of you should build the harvesters, the farms, the logging camps, the whatever you want. You should build them in. You should build in your capital. This doesn't make too much sense. Why? Because every city, even the secondary one you're gonna make in this map, they're gonna have uh, the same properties, like almost like your capital. So if we go in our first city, Madrid here, you can see, sorry, I need to lock this. You can see here you have actually 8 city production, okay? Now, the Gathering Hall, on the other hand, has only 2. But with Isabel, with that plus Juicy plus 5, you're gonna almost arrive at the same level as a capital. So, except Isabel, uh, actually, let me reformulate. Isabel is the exception where you actually can put some industry in your capital, which is great. Which is great, which is great. We love a Forex where we actually can put some industry in a bigger city. I hope they didn't change the part I was making fun of it. Of course they didn't. Yes. My dear developers, I love you. And I mean it. I want to make this series like stand-up comedy, and I need to have this thematic. Now, if you leave me, I would like to do my opening. So, first and foremost, we need to put some. We need to leave our capital a little bit to grow. Not too much, not too much, not too much. Just because of the debuffs they're gonna give you for every single tier, which I think they kept through. And we're gonna start by producing another scout. Because, we are playing a Forex game, we need first and foremost to explore. This is the 4X from. Okay, come on. Of course, you can do select a project, and we're gonna choose a nice specialist in this case. To the specialist, and we're gonna see this lovely, lovely, lovely scout. Nice to meet you, my dear friend. Isabel doesn't have the production of Pachacuti, but with a little bit of imagination, we can actually develop some very nice capitals. I'm having also a cup of coffee. On a cup of coffee. I love coffee. Now, this being said, I think we settle to start the new game. Wow. Come on, my friend. Answer to me and go out to explore. Because being honest, I don't care what you see on this map. The position is not quite very good. The starting position of our capital, if I gonna check on the yields, we do not have, actually we have this free wood yield here, but we have nothing special about agriculture department. So for the farms, we're gonna be a little bit annoyed. Is the only thing I see here is this 4 yield on the food, and I think that's the only thing we gonna have around our capital. We have to check some maybe some places where we can put some secondary city. We want to get maybe to the maximum 3 cities as soon as possible to expand a little bit to know our neighbors and to start some conquering. Oh, by the way, let me check one thing. They were saying they actually updating the trade production, and maybe somehow they made the mistake of actually explaining that. Sorry, sorry about that, guys. Was too much to ask. I'm sorry, my dear developers. Of course, of course. I was having so much hope, so much hope, so much hope. But that's okay, that's okay. You're gonna catch up somehow, maybe in the next 1,000 years, millennia. Hopefully not, because I'm not gonna live for so long, okay? The human life has a limited span, let's say. Okay, we are now in the second turn, and we discover actually quite a lot, quite a lot, quite a lot. And we unlocked technologies. Hmm. What do you think is gonna be one of the best technologies you want to research? Let me guess. Let me guess. The archers? No. The little horses, because we're gonna need them a little bit early to put our small hands on those horses, of course. We discover a biome. I don't care too much about this type of messages. Thank you very much. Wow. And we have our goodies. Actually, we have 2 goodies. But oh, one thing I want to applaud to the creator of those games. Actually, the scouts in Auto Explorer are automatically collecting. Actually, um, I was impressed. I was impressed how buggy and how um, uh, unbalanced the game is. They actually thought actually when they are in the Auto Explorer, the scouts are collecting this goodie hats. It's amazing. They thought about it. Imagine those guys actually use their brain. Yeah. And I would like to put actually in my so we literally made our first feast, and it would be nice to put it here to grow a little bit our city. But I do not make the mistake of putting sorry some kind of dwelling to grow too much. I will explain a little bit a little bit later in the series why you should not do that with the actual example. and our city will be ready to grow a little bit faster to reach its maximum level of 5. And as you can see here, just because of the happiness, we are producing 1.8 extra, which is great. Um, the majority it's gonna go to west, but from 9 we increased to 10 production already in our capital, which is sweet and beautiful. Now Scout is gonna be ready in less turns, so we're gonna be able to use it faster. Next turn. Hmm. As I told you, they are collecting the cash, which is perfect. I forgot to do one thing though. Now, I like to do some economies. So, let's talk a little bit production of goods. You have these buildings, like the workshop, so they're the industrial buildings. I'm not going to use anymore the term of crafter. I'm finding it extremely difficult to pronounce that thing. Sorry. So um, you have this building which are capable of creating goods, like the Great Heart, like the majority of actually all the other industrial buildings, and also some of the other buildings like the trader, like the uh, so you have all the buildings which might be dedicated, for instance, for science, and they adding an extra recipe you can create or you can craft at the given thing. So uh, let's go back to the recipes just for a while. Um, as usual, the game is quite very unbalanced. The recipes have these slots, okay, which are called accelerators. And depending on the recipe, you have different accelerators. In my case, when I'm creating this feast here, I have food as an accelerator. The second one, I can put syrup or spices, and on the last one, I can put grains. Now, I also can put wealth. Okay, the majority of the so in the majority of the recipes, you can use the gold you are gaining as an accelerator for your recipes. And for the moment, I'm using a feast every single 4 turns in order to. No, sorry. Let me again reformulate that. A feast is gonna be consuming 5 turns to give the advantages as amenities by a city. Okay, so every 5 turns I'm gonna need a new crafted feast. Now, if I see here, actually I'm producing quite a lot. I'm producing 0.5. Okay, so one feast every single two. Let me put a shit so this. Come on. So I'm producing this one feast every 2 turns. Now I'm consuming one every 5 turns. And I really do not need so many feasts. Maybe I might need my gold to be used in a different crafting, or maybe to buy some production for my units or for my buildings, etc., etc. So I would like to do some economies on this one to accumulate a little bit of wealth. And in this moment, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just reduce the number of accelerators to produce my. I'm gonna put it here on empty. Still, I'm gonna produce one every 3 turns. If I will reduce it even more, let's say I put it also in empty. Now, there might be actually a problem because as you can see, I'm gonna produce one every 10 turns maybe, okay, which is 0.1. Um, and I'm consuming one every 5. So you see where is the problem with the mathematics here. I might get without any feast to consume as an amenity in my cities. So I want to keep though a value which is actually bigger than 0.2, which means 1 over 5. So 1 over 5 turns. So let's leave one. Doesn't matter which one you choose. In our case, both are actually 50. And if I can actually select, come on, you can do it slowly. We're gonna leave only one gold. We're gonna leave this one on empty, and I'm gonna have a little bit of economy on gold, and the production actually of my feast of the goods I'm interested in to use them as an amenity is gonna keep up with the consumption rate. By the way, one which can be very useful is this crate over there in the next to the resources, which is for the goods. And you can see here that my the good name feast is produced at a rate of 0.3 per time. It is consumed at 0.2, which is great. And that's gonna give you actually some information if you're gonna round out of certain goods you are interested in. Very nice. It's a good hint, easy to use. So, by the way, in this series, I will still give you hints on how to make something work a little bit smoothly in this lovely game. So let's go back. Sorry about. I need to cough. I think I have a problem, and I think they reduced a little bit the research I could have. No, 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 no. And let's continue. Once we fix the issue overproducing certain goods, now we can continue with our lovely game. So let's go to the next one. We love to discover where the other friends are to do a little bit of trading. You know, Isabella loves trading. Loves trading, I think. She enjoys trading. As you imagine, I'm kidding. Okay, okay, okay. This is gonna be a little bit boring at the beginning of the game because you're not doing too much. You're just pressing the next button, and you look up to this car to get ready. Yeah. And by the way, we have our first and foremost expansion. One thing I would like to pay attention right now, because this is quite important to understand. In my previous video, which was very long and really boring, I tried to explain a little bit this concept, but now I think we have a very good occasion of even explaining better. Look up to what the city is producing right now. So we are producing for food, okay? We are producing 15 wealth or gold, whatever. Timber, we have a +2 and a +3, okay? Not quite very clear from where these are coming, but on the other hand, I can tell you directly, they actually are coming from the region. Okay. The region doesn't have any special improvement for collecting those resources, but by default, only owning a region, this is gonna give you the base, the things you see here, free food, to timber, to materials, and for gold. Okay, only by owning this region. You don't have to build anything, absolutely anything. And you can see here the +3 from the region. Okay, I have some other modifier. My feast also always give me a +3, and the city is consuming actually 2. The wealth, the same thing. The region itself is giving me that 4. The gray hair is producing me 10. And I have some taxes actually +1 from my city here. Okay, yeah. I have a lot of taxes in this city. In the case of the timber, it's much more simple. It's the region, 2, and for the materials, the same thing. Now, why I want to underline this. The moment we're gonna claim a new region, so you remember those values I put before, or you saw before. Now, the moment I'm gonna click and say, I want to claim this region, actually I'm gonna claim it mainly for the food production. Let me check 5 3. I think I'm gonna claim this one. Okay, so I claim the new region. Now here, no, actually it's gonna be next one. You should remember those values. We're gonna hit the next one. Have nothing else to do. Just discover a new cache though. Okay, and voila. Now here we have the new region, Ferrol, okay, which has 4 food, which is added. I have no improvement whatsoever. I just claimed that region, and it's giving me already the yields here into my city. So no improvement whatsoever. I have those in my cities. Okay, important thing to remember. Okay, now what is going to be our next step? I said I want to make 2 extra cities. In order to make a city, you need another type of specialist, which is called the settler. Now, I do not have this 125 food to create a new settler, but I would like to receive it as soon as possible. And I will go here and I will create a nice farm. The farm, it's an improvement, it's a harvester literally, which actually will give me some extra food in my city. Now, forget about because because this is not quite very clear. 100% of the region food. No, it's not gonna add me this four. Okay, I'm gonna show you which is the formula, how to calculate. It's actually a formula. It's gonna be based on this production and this production. At the end of the day, is gonna be transformed into actual food. Okay, so this after the farm is built. Now we're gonna get interested in starting though to accumulate some resources in order to push up our units, our specialists, especially the settlers to make to other cities. Just to expand a little bit, our lovely empire, Spanish Empire. We have this unit which actually is idled, so as usual, I think I'm gonna capture this one. And that's all for this turn. Yeah, the first turns are really boring. But if you are playing, how to say, not correctly, but a little bit optimal, you'll get somewhere quite very fast. We are trying to develop our merchant actually. You're gonna see what I want to talk about. Okay, next turn. This is next for a few rounds. Great, I have some new goods and my unit is either. So just go free, baby. I would like to make sure that my scouts, if I can see my first scout actually. Where is my first scout? It disappeared, my friend. My first scout disappeared. Maybe I'm gonna see it next time. I'm pretty sure I should have two scouts. Oh, in Auto Explore they have this issue and getting, like two bodies, they are getting together. I have no idea. The algorithm for searching is not taking in account, I think, what is the other unit type. But this is a small one. This is a small one. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, compared with the other issue of this game. Okay, so our friend is moving the other direction. I'll be able to put him in. By the way, Isabel being so adventurous, she's going to give you these two movement points, and you're gonna be able to discover the map quite very fast, let's say. Come on, can do it, my friend. Yes. And I don't want to waste any. I want to play as optimal as I can. We are in normal. It's a very difficult strategy game. Uh, okay, now hopefully you realize what I didn't explore. And if I gonna, oh yes, if I gonna put them in auto explore, you're gonna realize those things. And maybe you're not gonna be cluttered one against each other. So we almost finished the first one. which is great. It's gonna be not this turn, not next turn, the plus two. So, come on, get into it, don't be shy. Don't be shy. And of course, I'm gonna buy the extra. So, another hint. Yeah. If I was not to buy this production, so I still have two turns until this farm is gonna be done. Okay. If I was not going to buy this production here, actually, all the production for the next turn and maybe I will be lost. Okay. So I don't know how much production I needed in this one, maybe four or something. So imagine I had 12 production and I gonna lose for the next one something like eight production, which which might not sound very much, but at the end of the day, this production is accumulating and you know you didn't play actually a very optimal game and the AI is gonna go a step forward and you're gonna be behind and you don't want to do that. In a forex, of course, you don't want to do that. So do not forget always to buy because the production here is lost. The city production, this production is gonna be lost. Okay, it's just gonna go to waste. Okay, great. By the way, it's not such a big issue if you forget to or if you waste one turn of production or something, it's not the end of the game thing. But still, you want to keep up accelerating those those units, those buildings as soon as possible because you don't want constantly to bleed out production for nothing. Oh, and we have a goat. We have a goat. Now, one of the most hmm, important, let's say, I would like to do, as I told you, it's gonna be a very trade-oriented series because they say they fixed the trade, and I'm totally, I totally believe them. I'm kidding, by the way. So next thing we want to study quite in depth. I think it's gonna be the pottery. Yes, I do not have very good yields around it. So maybe we're gonna start with the archery though. Who doesn't like a good archer around? No. And we have sufficient food to actually create our first settler. Isn't so romantic. We're gonna create our second city. We're gonna take advantage. We're actually gonna start to take advantage of Isabel, the first of Spain. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she beautiful? So I don't know how much, how long I have to repeat myself, Isabel. I'm sorry, I was such a brute to discard you as an STR. But I didn't thought about your advantage, your huge advantage. Actually, I think it's even better than Pachacuti and that if you can start her to roll. Otherwise, Pachacute is better. And we have our first event. Yeah, the forest fort. Should we take the, you know, this is actually a problem. They're gonna give me, the game is gonna give me -10 happiness, which means I'm gonna lose something like 2 production for 10 turns in my city. For what? For 5 prestige. Now there's gonna be 1 prestige. On the other hand, I can take the same advantage, so the same goods, 5 little 5 baskets. I'm gonna pay 10 security. I'm not gonna take the prestige, but I'm not gonna take the debuff for the production. Okay, I'm interested in those goods though. And let's make a small pause. I want to keep these videos quite very short. So 40 minutes maybe, and I'm already at 40 minutes. I'm talking quite a lot, and I just played 16 turns. But I want to explain you this, which is very important. Now, you have this quality of life stats. Every city has it, and they're different. So this is not something for all the empire or no, you have per city, per which at each each of this category, they're gonna give you a certain buff to something. Let's take for example happiness. Happiness is gonna give you a buff in city production. Okay. The health is gonna give you a buff on the city growth. The knowledge is gonna give you a buff on the science you output from the city. By the way, your city is outputting science. Okay. The prosperity is going to give you gold with the tax incomes. The security is going to give you 4 strength inside your city. Um, in my case here, it's going to be with a minus. Okay. Though I hope it's not with a minus. Why is it red? Uh, because normally it should be at 41. I should have no effect whatsoever. And the culture is gonna give you this influence, okay, this resource over here. And I was explaining the most important things in the Forex game is actually production and research, okay? So literally, this gonna say, be careful about your city happiness and your city knowledge. Okay? These are the top, the first one. This is how you build your city. This is how you build the new units, the new buildings, etc. This is how you research something better, and you want to be in advance. The rest, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, is you can neglect it. In case you are attacked, this security becomes a little bit important because the forces, the units you gonna deploy inside your territories, they're gonna, if the security is quite very low, they're gonna have actually a debuff. Okay. And you want to keep the, in case you are attacked, you want to keep your security, and this, you want to keep the security up. in order to have buffs, not debuffs. The next one will be the prosperity. Actually, in case of a peace, this is gonna be the third, okay, on the third place. Because they're gonna give you a little bit of gold here. And actually, you might get quite a lot of gold because I think this one goes to 200%. Culture. This is gonna give you the possibility of maybe claiming. So based on these resources, actually, you can claim new regions or you can have new traits. And the last one should be the growth because this one is gonna give you the city growth. Um, Normally, I know some of you is gonna think, yeah, but the city growth is important also. No, 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 it's not important. You just because of debuffs, you get on quality of life by city tier increased. But as as for this game, I think the order you should prioritize the quality of life should be the following. First is the building capacity, so happiness. Second is going to be your knowledge. Third, your gold. Fourth, your culture. Fifth, your security. And on the last place, actually, is going to be the health of the city. This can go actually to zero. I don't even care about it. Especially, I don't want to grow my cities. By the way, as Isabella is going to give me five production in cities which are less or equal to 10. Okay, city tier 10. Only for the small ones, not for the big ones. Literally, if I'm passing the key value of a city tier of 10, I'm gonna have a huge debuff with Isabel. So this being said, I'm gonna close this first episode and see you the next time. Cheers, guys.